We decided that the dairy to beef system wasn't making enough money compared to the dairy cows. We wanted to expand the dairy cows. We had an old 9-point swing over Parlour, which had bad cow flow, and we wanted to put in something that gave us more capacity to milk more cows and had more technology. We thought it would be a good opportunity to put in a new milking parlour during the dry period, so that's probably one of the reasons why we went with Dairymaster, because they had a proven track record with putting in the plant in a short space of time and meeting targets that were set. It was taking one man about 3 hours to milk the 120 cows, say, and it was just a laborious task, and everybody was tired and nobody wanted to do it. Whereas now with the new milking parlour, it takes one man an hour and a half to milk 170 cows, and it's easy. The cows want to come into the parlour, the men want to milk in the parlour, and it's just an easier, better job and a nicer way of life. So basically a 20/40 swift flow baling with feed to yield feeders, ACRs and automatic drafting. Worked really well, very pleased with it. The biggest benefit that we seen was how comfortable the cows were. The cows tend to milk out quicker in this parlour, and they're just a lot more settled and no kicking. So, since our old milking parlour, whether the pulsation wasn't right or the cows used to not like being in it, whereas this parlour they just seem really settled and want to be in the milking parlour. And the heifers in our old milking parlour, it was a bit of a disaster trying to get them settled, and the cows and the heifers just are really comfortable and want to come into the parlour to be milked. Obviously within the herd there's cows that are doing 45 litres and there's cows that are doing 25 litres, so we thought the automation would hopefully reduce our feed costs and our input costs, and it has done really. We find that, for example, our feed cost usually runs between 6 and 7p a litre. It stayed the same, but I think our yield per cow is probably up about 11 or 1200 litres per cow. So we're feeding us probably the same amount of feed, but we're getting more milk per cow because the feed's going to where the feed needs to go, and those cows are milking on better, if that makes sense. If those cows are in better health and our fertility's good, and everything's running really well, really. The drafting works like an absolute dream. Last year we done a big pre-breeding scanning session, and we set the drafting gate to draft out 55 animals, and it never missed one. Whereas before, if you run to draft out 55 animals in our old milking parlour, it would have been taking you an extra hour onto the milking time to try and draft those cows out, whereas it was just done perfectly through the drafting gate and it never missed one. So, it's first class, it's brilliant, really. It always amazes me the information that the milking parlour creates and gathers up, and the data that it accumulates for you to analyse, and it makes it very easy to use and manage the cows from that. For example, if the milking parlour thinks that one animal is perhaps got a depressed yield, it tells you and it records that, and you can easily go after milking and see if there's any animals that are down in the yield, and obviously that leads to health issues and stuff like that. So it's quite good in terms of spotting cows that are sick, that sort of thing, whereas before the cows were milked and nobody ever really noticed. So in terms of the data it creates, it's pretty impressive. I always knew in the back of my head that we were going to put in a new milking parlour, so I wanted just to find out who was good and who was bad. And anybody I ever spoke to that had put in a new milking parlour from Dairymaster had been genuinely very impressed with it, and they'd do anything for you. They're really good, like first class.